Rob came to see me with a case of retroactive jealousy ×2. His girlfriend had had casual partners. She'd told him up front. I found her confidence about sex kind of exciting, he told me, but also unsettling. Now, Rob hadn't had much in the way of casual sex himself, and his girlfriend's experience were fairly recent too. She'd ended a friends with benefits type arrangement as soon as she'd met Rob. It was hard to hear, Rob said, and I wanted to keep my end up. So, there was a long pause, I made up my body count. I told her I couldn't really remember, but it was probably more than 40. But his girlfriend believed it, and she was kind of impressed. Oh, so you're Mr. Experienced then, but also a bit intimidated too. I sensed some jealousy on her part. I felt a bit guilty lying like this, but it just seemed to level me up, said Rob. Fast forward 2 years and the relationship is going great. They've moved in together. But RJ haunts me even more now, Rob says. When we have sex, I convince myself that she enjoyed it more before, that she regrets dumping that friends with benefits guy for me. Sometimes I can't resist asking about him, especially when we've both had a few drinks. It all kind of comes out. I get a bit resentful. And then she says, hang on, you've had more than 40. You're obsessed with this one man out of my 6 previous partners ever, and you can't even remember all yours. And this just makes me worse, because hers were all real, mine weren't. But I can't tell her this, of course. Rob gets a bit worked up telling me this. I need to get out. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm attacking the girl I love. I've given her retroactive jealousy now. She randomly asks me about my exes sometimes, and I know the feeling, but it still sets me off then about hers. My head is spinning at this point, and I'm supposed to be the therapist. Rob and I joked about it. Anxiety plus massive exaggeration plus double RJ plus quite a few drinks. What can we possibly do with that? Well, for starters, Rob has to focus on his side of it. We went back to basics. We are wired to feel some discomfort about our partner's sexual past. A lot of guys would say, yeah, my partner has a past, I just don't really think about it. I don't particularly want to. So why do some of us get so hooked up on it and maybe obsess more as time goes on, like Rob? Well, A, when the partner's past feels like a threat, or B, when we have doubts about ourselves, when we doubt whether we're enough in one way or another. Often it's both. For Rob, this friend with benefits who got ditched as soon as his girlfriend met Rob, that felt massively problematic. I don't worry about this guy coming back, Rob would say. That's not the threat. It's more about what it means. Can she really go from totally casual to committed relationship just like that? Well, Rob, 2 years of you being with her says yes. Yeah, but what if she regrets it? What if she misses all that? Where is that coming from? We had some understanding to do. Which leads to B, doubts about ourselves. Rob feels behind sexually, inexperienced by comparison, and he is making a lot of comparisons. Hence the cover-up. Again, 2 years of sexual connection with his girlfriend, and no complaints, says he's worrying unnecessarily. But worrying he is, because he's had this perception of himself being left behind, less than, missed out, inept, and he's had it for a long time. So we did some work on that, and it went back to some pretty awkward experiences in his teenage years, would you believe? It wasn't random, it made sense, but he's not that teenager anymore. And this bit of understanding helps Rob stand on his own 2 feet with his feelings. Less stuck in the past, less hooked up on needing assurance. And we had to be mindful of the drinking too. Yes, having a couple of drinks on date night helps us lighten up, but there's a tipping point where we lose our inhibitions and the thoughts flood in and RJ says, oh, time to kick off. Stay off the beers while you work on this. As for Rob's girlfriend's retroactive jealousy, that's actually quite common too. And I touched on it in a previous video. Our partners have their own doubts and vulnerabilities too. One partner might struggle with the past more than the other, but there's a kind of fusion going on. I'm anxious and doubting, and that sets you off about my past, real or made up. And now it feels even worse, and it's like 2 mirrors being held up, and the need for assurance and the stress bounces, reflects back and forth. This dynamic needs to change. Couples therapy can help here, but there's a lot we can do unilaterally, with just Rob in this case. He becomes less reactive and less hooked on assurance, and he puts his mirror down. And his girlfriend senses that something has shifted, and that helps her too. Reactivity goes down. The questions and dragging up of their past stops. Date night doesn't inevitably turn into a drunken slanging match. That's positive. As part of the work, Rob wondered whether he should fess up about his faulty lovers. And that's a tricky one. Maybe, in due course perhaps, but not as a compulsion to make himself feel better or to get assurance. If his girlfriend would benefit from knowing the truth and understanding why he said it, then yes. And Rob did tell her eventually, and she rolled her eyes and she smiled, and it really wasn't that big a deal. Rob's doing a lot better, and so is his girlfriend. But it is a work in progress, and he's still noticing the moments day to day when he doubts himself in these ways, when that old narrative of him being less than tries to take over, hooks onto evidence. Teenage cringe, he called it, and he's getting better at not letting teenage cringe take him over. It's old, it's obsolete, it's done. He's not planning to find another girlfriend now, because what becomes clear is this isn't about her or her past. It's about innate feelings and deeper doubts and pattern matches to the past. When we tackle that directly in therapy or self-help and we stand on our own 2 feet, the benefits work retroactively too. Rob felt compassion for that teenager, full of self-consciousness and desperate to fit in, fixing the past in the present, so to speak. So if any of this resonates with you, if you've tried to level the score, or if you wonder whether retroactive jealousy is catching in your relationship, I hope this helped provide a bit of clarity. Thank you for watching.